Hello, good morning. I'm Davril Tien, and we are live broadcasting the Euroleague from Helsinki, Finland. It's day 2 of the first round here of the season, and the next match coming up will be between Flipper and Egersund. Flipper has been with the Euroleague from the very beginning, and including yesterday's games, they have played a total of 51 matches. They have 20 wins, 8 draws, and 23 losses. They have scored 106 goals in total, and they have surrendered 175. That's a negative differential of 69 points. Egersund started in the league yesterday, playing regular matches, and they have a total of 5 games. They have 1 win. That comes from the qualification round, and 0 draws and 3 losses. They have scored 15 goals, and they have surrendered 10, giving them a positive differential of 5. So I'll introduce the players to you in a minute, and the parade will start, and they'll enter the swimming pool.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, are you ready?
Hello, good morning. You're tuned in to the Euroleague, broadcasting live from Helsinki, Finland. And permit me to introduce the 2 teams that are going to play the next match. In blue, for Flipper, wearing number 2, Simon Schaefer. Number 4, Tor Lykke-Funk. Number 12, Mikael Krag. Number 13, Philip Munt. And the captain, wearing number 14, Mikkel Rasmussen. Number 15, Björn Andersen. Number 17, Philip Lorentzen. Number 21, Jonas Funch-Poulsen. Number 23, Rickard Jadogrov. Number 25, Sigurd Greve Didriksson. Number 39, Jörn Kristoffersen. Number 71, Claude Larsen. And in reserve, number 1, Henrik Kass, and number 9, Søren Nielsen. On the other side of the pool, wearing white, number 3, Ove Magne Jensen Tungs. Number 4, Andre Vanglo Gravsvit. Number 7, Vergud Johan Jakobsen. Number 9, Joachim Gravdahl. Number 9, Stig Andre Utheim. Number 10, Tom Håkan Edmundsen. Number 12, Otto Frostad Hein. Number 14, Lars Hjemmestad. Number 15, Frank Emil Moen. Number 17, Stefan Tungs. Number 32, Håkan Emil Helen Sestad. And number 66, Alf Sestad.
Okay, good morning from the commentators. My name is Jani Mäkinen. I come from a town called Seinäjoki. In Finland we have a diving club, and today I'm gonna be a guest commentator here with Mr. Davral Tien. Yesterday we had a long day, and today it's gonna be again many matches and some interesting matches also.
It's going to be good. And yeah, I don't think of you as a guest commentator. I hope you come back again, Jan. This is the way to do it. And, well, what have we got coming up here? The first match of the morning now, the one that we've just announced, is Flipper and Egersund. Egersund, they lost their first match yesterday. What was it, 4-1 or 5-1? It was
5-1, I think.
5-1, yes. Yeah. And what do you think? I don't think they're going to beat Flipper.
Yeah, I think Flipper certainly is a favorite for this one. It's going to be interesting that what will be at the end the goal difference. If I had to guess, it's going to be something like we saw yesterday, 5-1, something like that. Egersund, of course, they are new to this league, but as you mentioned yesterday, in the Norwegian league, they are used to compete with tough clubs. So, but Flipper, they have so much quality, so I have really difficulties to believe that Egersund can really challenge Flipper today.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that. Can you check and see if I can raise the volume of the headsets just a little bit? Yeah, that's a little down. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Thank you. So, yeah, Flipper has to be the favorite team, and they have gotten players back from other clubs. people that they had who had gone over to Tützner. They also have Philip Munt, a Swedish guy who used to play with Polisen, and he was living in the United States for some time doing research, and then he's moved now to Copenhagen. So he's playing for Flipper, and he's a big guy.
Okay,
so,
yes, yeah, I know, yeah.
He played in the Euroleague before at the very beginning.
How old is he? He's like 30, right?
Yeah, he must be somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah.
So
that is actually some information we should develop this
ages,
so that we could ages and
weight,
and height. That would be interesting. It certainly would be the average weight of a team. That's
it makes a difference.
It makes a difference, and it's an interesting indicator.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. It's Flipper against Egersund. Flipper from Denmark, Copenhagen, and Egersund from Norway.
And they got the ball to Rasmussen, which makes a lot of sense. He holds on to it, and there he is still.
That's holding. The referees rightfully waited for a few seconds to see whether there was a favor. Holding, that's for Flipper against Egersund. Now Egersund start cycling in their own end. They are now at the Egersund's defense area.
Rasmussen on the surface. When there's a free throw like this, and you say that the players begin to cycle in defense, so that's also a matter of experience that players know how long they should stay down in exchange, so they don't want to get tired at all.
And definitely you don't want to have your goal being taken over.
Yes.
So that's very important, specifically when you do this, when the free throw is in your own end. It's it's only a matter of seconds and your goal will be taken if you're not careful enough. So whenever you hear the signal that the referees have halted, you immediately must go down to defend to take your own goal first.
Whoa!
That it's is it not? Oh yeah, it's already right. So that was the first one for Flipper.
And so the guys from Egersund, they're already tired. So a little bit. I mean,
a little bit, yeah. Flipper actually they had 2 games yesterday, and Egersund
only one.
They only had 1 game. And Egersund will play Urheilusukeltajat later in the afternoon. So they will play twice today. And it's Mikkel Rasmussen who puts the ball in.
And typically, strong players tend to score more goals against the weaker teams. I mean, the proportion of the goals scored, it changes if the match is uneven. The strong players will go for even more.
Yes. And what I've learned from underwater rugby, that there seem to be certain roles, like we talked about it yesterday. So there are certain people who just do more goals, and then there are people who like to arrange, assisting goals. So certainly all the teams have some sort of in the roster they have those players that score more and those players that defend more and have different roles on in the pool.
Yeah, so some people feel more comfortable in certain situations.
Yes, and the way that the people play, everybody plays in their own way, have their own strength and abilities in the pool. Now the defender was totally missing for a few seconds in their own end for Egersund, so it was a bit of luck they had there that it wasn't a goal. So now it seems that for the whole match until now, we are now 2.5 minutes is being played, and the Flipper has been in the
possession of the ball
whole time and in the Egersund's end. Now again, where is the defender? Again, he was a few seconds late. For the defender, it's, in my opinion, really important. I play myself in a defense that you perhaps come 2 seconds too early than too late.
Yes. And Jakobsen went up before his partner came down. So.
Okay, that's another one. Yeah, I think the goalkeeper, he had been pushed for a while. Then he turned, and maybe somebody should have replaced him earlier.
Yes. So when I said tired, they shouldn't be tired now so early in the game, but they are stressed. so
Yeah,
they're falling.
certainly, yeah.
They're not pumping.
Yeah, and certainly these well, it's not early morning in the way. Well, it's like we'll just turned. In Europe, we have now shifted the time, so the winter time started in the midnight, and sort of like we are 10:16 of the yesterday's time. But still, I personally hate to play underwater rugby in the morning.
Really?
Yeah, for some reason, the body and the physics seem not to wake up so early for the underwater rugby. What we do sometimes that we go to the cold water pool. Then when you go to nearly freezing water for 10 seconds, then you're okay.
You're awake.
again,
Oh, now you've
defense is
lost the
totally
back,
missing.
and a
Yes,
goal.
yes. Now what certainly Egersund what they should now do is that they should team up. They should take a timeout now. They should somehow get their defense together, because of course Flipperis, they are very strong and they come really strong like they did now, and but still, at their own goal they should be able to. Egersund should be able to defend harder.
Yes, I agree with that.
Just concentrate in their own end to begin with.
And part of it, now the question is, why are the players missing? So they shouldn't be. They should
they
be
shouldn't be, because we have played now. This game is now 4 minutes old only, so they cannot be that tired yet.
No.
So it's again they lose the ball quite easily in the mid pool, and again they are in the defense positions. So they should really concentrate out, few meters from their goal only to get that thing together, and then try to take the ball away. Again, the defender was in the bad. If he was a defender, he was in the bad position there. Well, now there is a defender well positioned. Good chase from the goalkeeper.
I think they should be able to have a goal of keeping it under 10 now.
Now there is one in the screen of the flipper players. Of course, it's tiring to cycle in your own end, specifically when your opponent is passing the ball in the way that they do now. But now in my opinion, Egersund does the right thing. They should refrain from trying to capture the ball too far away from their own goal. They should let these people flipper come closer, and now they should be really active in tackling the ball.
Now we saw the back go up and reach for the ball a little bit. They need to do that every time in order to help the forwards to.
Now the defender.
Now they don't have a defender. Yeah.
Defender again
The back's
missing
gone.
for a while, and maybe a little late, and then when this danger
They've
moment
lost
starts.
the position under the basket.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think now what we're seeing is clearly that there is just quality difference between the two teams.
Yes.
This is somehow typical, I think, for many national leagues also in Finland. If we talk Finnish top league, the best teams are so much better than the worst teams. So now it seems that Egersund has to do some learning. They have to kind of take the learning out of this now and try just to defend really, and try to get the ball a few times away from their own goal. That should be the number one priority now.
They are facing some psychological challenges.
Certainly they are, yes.
Partially, for example, they lost some players to
That's
Molde.
demoralizing.
Yes.
When you lose the ball immediately after
Yes.
the start. So and now this guy who's tackling, I'm not sure if he should be there really, because now they go to the surface, and now they leave the defense sort of alone. So you need these forwards. They need to be close to the goal. What's the purpose now for this one person chasing the ball there in the corner and using his lungs? There is no really point, because now he is needed when they come to a few meters from the goal. Then they have a chance to take the ball. Now that is where they need to be really active.
So, is it fair to say this is an amateur mistake to have the forwards out chasing.
If I would be the coach for Egersund, I would perhaps make a timeout now and so to organize the defense, make sure that the guys understand that it's not point to chase the ball too far away from their own goal.
Because it's not easy to get it away from the flipper players.
Certainly not.
No.
And to be able to prevent goals happening, they must be very strong, very close to their own goal. Now they got it.
Yes.
But now the problem is that how to get away from that end.
And they're breathing and they're up, but a bad pass and they lose it again.
Yeah, well, I think what happens normally here is that you have defended a time, you have defended, few minutes, maybe 1 minute, you have dived maybe 4 or 5 times, and your lungs are empty. But that was an excellent change from the goalkeeper. But that was an excellent. I don't know if it was it a goal or not, but it was really close, really close. Just to remind the audience that in underwater rugby, the whole ball has to be below the ring of the goal. So it's not enough. It's just partly. But again, in underwater rugby, it's not permitted to put your hand inside the goal. So it's sometimes in really like in the borderline of the rules.
It's contradictory. Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, the coaches teach young players to put the ball in and hold it in on the bottom.
Hold it in on the bottom of the score. Yeah, that's the way. Yeah. I'm when I'm coaching, I'm telling the boys also that
so
they should
the referee
maintain.
can see it.
Exactly.
Yes. The problem now is that it's too easy for a flipper to pass the ball around the basket. So the Egersund players are a step behind all the time now in defending. You need to get your hand there. Preferably you have your body blocking their path. But after that, you have to see the ball to get your hand there, and that's already a losing proposition against strong players.
And these Egersund players that play forward, okay, let's see if they can now once manage the ball to flipper, and that would be good for them.
But they're swimming on the surface out there.
Yeah, again from the surface they tried.
Yeah. You have to vary the swim out with the ball so that the other team doesn't key in on you and know exactly where you're going.
A nice pass, actually. It was an excellent pass.
Well,
but now we didn't see too many Egersund players around. Now we have 3. Where are the rest of the team?
Gravdahl is the captain.
The other
went
forward.
into. He's making a big effort there, but not getting the ball.
The defender make a risk. He made a risk, and that's it. Yes, that is a very typical that once you have held your position as a defender for a certain moment, you should actually take this movement away from your goal, go towards to the ball, and kind of like leave that space empty for your co-defender to take the place immediately.
Yes. To swim out.
To swim out towards the ball and leave that space for your co-defender so he can put in his body. But he has to, anticipate this.
Yes.
What I always tell my co-players that they should count 3-4 times the lungs and then dive, no matter what, in our own end, in defense. Because
the cycle has to be
once the defender is moving out, it's already too late. You have to be there, kind of like waiting for him.
Otherwise, the other team will take the position.
And it helps if you have played with someone for few years, so you know what he'll do. Now that was easily taken by the flipper player. That was a too easy pass. But he waits for his teammates now from flipper.
Oh, nice pass there. They're moving the ball back and forth, and it's
again where's the defense is not very organized, because they leave these few seconds of too much time for flipper players actually to.
And they're floating up too high. They don't have a good angle to the bottom of the pool.
Now they could snap it. Let's see if they are able to find teammates to pass the ball on, because if he's alone, there's gonna be a problem. Okay, still they have it.
Tongues gets it.
forward. Grab
No, they
ball,
should be
captain.
able to come closer to flipper end so that. Oh no, that was a
That might be a holding call.
something.
Wide.
Hold.
Yeah, it's holding.
Holding.
Yes.
Because he expected his teammate to get down for that ball, but he didn't come. So
Right. Somebody was holding,
Holding him, yeah.
obviously.
But that doesn't matter to flipper. They just can regroup now.
Look at that strength.
Good pass.
Okay, that was a bit luck also. It was bouncing on the bottom. Is he able to find now? He needs a teammate. Here he comes, and they should stay close now so that the flipper has to cycle in their own end. Another opportunistic
ball.
pass. They lost it.
Flinch. Now it's a fast break. Now
Is
we'll
the-
see if they get the goalie down barely, and the back came in pretty late.
Yeah, but now the flipper guys should have done better work. Now there is a defender also. A strong
Another-
approach by a flipper player. But
This is what I mean. Like Rasmussen, he has already scored. People like Rasmussen and Simon Schaefer, they will score more and more goals. It will just become like a
right, like a practice session.
yeah.
In the way, yeah.
And of course, if you're winning by such a large margin, you can relax a lot. It just having fun, just
Sure. And of
the
course,
pressure is gone
of
completely.
course, they know that they don't need to worry so much about their own end, so they can basically chase the ball with the 5 guys. Now one of the flipper guys comes all the way. 2 of the flipper guys come all the way from the Egersund end to change. Some fresh lungs coming in. From that end, it takes this 7 seconds to get back.
To get back.
Yeah. This is a 15 or 16 meter pool, which is, I would say, this the perfect length for an under. It's not too long, not too short. We have at my own swimming hall, or in our swimming hall in Seinäjoki, we have 12 meter, and it's maybe a little too short.
Working all the way in.
Yeah, diving in, digging in a way, and then on
Yeah,
the
it's
other
gonna be a
side,
goal.
yeah, it's.
Yeah.
That was like basically the Egersund defense was blown apart before
Yeah.
that goal came.
I think that was
Scored by player number
23. Was it Rickard Ladagro?
39. Who is it? Any assist? Blue team. Number 71.
71.
Assisted by number 7.
Claude Larson.
Claude Ross, defender.
So Kristoffersen, who's a goalie, he's got a goal in this game. And he's the guy who scored against Molde when they beat them for the first time in
Okay.
yeah. He was swimming over, he swam back to his own goal, and then they got the ball, so he stayed down and came all the way back.
Okay.
So he did 1.5 lengths.
Okay. All right. Great.
Oh, good. Now he can't even release the ball.
Yeah, it's a difficult position, really. We are less than 2 minutes away from the
Half-time.
halftime now.
Now they're passing the ball forward, which takes a lot less energy than swimming if you have good long passes.
Okay, that's
The defender has to swim all the way. They cannot, nobody throws them through the water so
Yeah.
they can get there faster.
yeah.
Assisted number 14.
1.5 minutes to go to the halftime.
Maybe it's a good thing that this game is early in the morning and not the last game of the day. That
Yeah,
would be-
that's right.
Egersund has another match today.
Yeah.
They are going to play against.
Urheilusukeltajat
Yes.
of Helsinki.
So that will be a big match for them, but I think they will have trouble in that match too.
They will have a trouble in that
Yeah.
much. So Egersund now is the first round in the Euroleague. Certainly they have something to talk about on the way home. And of course, for them the whole season is going to be difficult because you just cannot do any magic. Of course they can watch these games, they can hear our commentary,
Yeah.
they can take again. It
Well-
seems that it's too easy for them now to pass the ball. Where are all the forwards? Now this guy in the back made a dive. For what reason? He didn't even come too close to the ball.
No.
So whenever the forwards are now diving, they always should be close to the ball.
They should
Close to their own
lock
goal.
up the ball so that they can.
Yes.
Well, you can go in the EuroLeague your first season with no wins.
Sure,
that has happened.
it's not a shame. I'm not saying it's
No.
not a shame. It's certainly a learning process.
I think some teams went two seasons.
Two
before they
seasons
won.
without winning.
yeah.
Yeah. But certainly this will give some motivation, and also I think they will be able to identify those weak points they have in their game and take some learnings and maybe be a bit stronger next time and then develop.
The fact is that you can only
Now
improve
this goalie was very clever,
by
number
playing
30.
against stronger players
Certainly.
and teams.
Hakon Saestad.
Saestad, yeah.
He made a clever move because when he left his position, he put his legs. It's the half time now, and we are.
Time.
Is it 6-0 or 8-0? Which one?
At least 6. Probably
8-0.
yeah.
8-0. Yes. We need actually a pen. We need to start making some notes on our papers while we watch.
That's
I'm
true.
taking a few minutes of break.
All right.
That's
Yeah,
the
we're going to have the
halftime.
highlights now at
Yeah.
halftime, and we'll be back with you in a minute.
Thank you.
Getting set for the. Let's see. Is it this? We're getting set for the beginning of the second half here in the match between Egersund and Flipper. Flipper's winning 8-0, and Egersund's really struggling to hold on to the ball. They had a chance to talk things over. They need to get the forwards down closer to the goal to protect the basket better. They'll see if they can do that. They haven't been able to hold on to the ball very well. Expect the buzzer. 10 seconds. Beautiful day here. Sun shining in through the windows, giving us good light in the pool. Flipper first to the ball, and they're moving over to the goal. Finch swimming up. He finds a teammate below. Egersund manages to pick up the ball. And there's this underwater scrum. Egersund holding on. Schaefer's got it.
Yeah, well done by him. It was a fraction of a second, and that he was well positioned. He was expecting it. So again, the defender had to kind of like float away with the ball, so it opens up this space underneath the basket or below the ring end.
You could see very clearly now that either way that the teams coming in, they can pass opportunistically, because now the result of the match is already decided. So
well, now they could save it. Let's say he should see his teammate now below. He should stay below, not try to go there.
It's hard to give the ball, to pass the ball when the person with you has got their hand on it and they are going to take it before it even moves anywhere.
Right. Now he should.
In the corner.
Their teammate must be below somebody to pass the ball.
But there were players all over.
Quite lousy pass, actually. It wasn't any.
But
too easily to be taken by the Flipper player. The issue was that the Egersund teammates should have gone deeper. It's so easy always to pass the ball below. Now he had to pass the ball, horizontally. It's always a danger.
More difficult.
Again, the forwards from the Egersund's team, they don't kind of like that was a good job by one of the forwards. I think he came and tried to tackle it, and they should really, be more aggressive.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah, that was easy to see what was to come.
Egersund is trying, but they're unable to maintain their.
The goalies and the defenders, they are trying to do their job. The best way they can. What I'm missing a little bit from Egersund's game is that the forwards should be more clever. That's changed for Flipper. Number 15 is going to go out, so Björn Andersen out. And who was the player coming in?
I think it would be Søren Nielsen, I would guess. Henrik Kassa seemed to be injured. He had a cut around his eye. And so I have a feeling he's not playing.
Right.
Yes, Søren Nielsen.
Søren Nielsen in.
So right now, Egersund has got no hope in the game, so they need to learn from the game instead of trying to
Yeah, this
play
is the
randomly.
good. This is nice that they are in the corner, in the safe corner. Well, now there was so many flipper. Well, it was the teammates were not there really to pass the ball on.
They were there, but they were on the surface.
Yes, they were on the surface, so they were not well positioned. The thing is that once they start an attack, they should be able at least, first of all, bring the ball into the into flipper's end and then maintain it for a while in the corner. Just to have it maintained in the corner before even approach. That would be kind of like a learning exercise to have it in the corner and being able to maintain it there. Of course, now flipper is so much in lead. They can rely more on their goalies. The defenders, they are more relaxed to go and chase the ball. So it's definitely not an easy task.
I think everybody watching saw that goal coming.
Yeah.
As soon as the ball was passed over,
Yes.
the goalie
yes.
had no idea.
No idea, yes.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful goal. What we should have really in this Euroleagues, in the internet service, we should have a sort of national statistics from the leagues. That is some information. I'm not sure if it's any single web page where somebody would be following the European national leagues.
There's a statistical department in the Euroleague, but the statistics are not always kept up because it's a lot of work to keep the statistics
The
up.
Euroleague is one thing, but then
The national,
the
to go to the national clubs. In Sweden, of course, there's a paper. It's filled out.
Yes.
It should be sent in.
Yes.
And then the problem is that who is going to do this? It becomes a job for
Yeah.
somebody like you,
Yeah.
who's already involved in
Well, this-
coaching and organizing. So,
Yeah, we have the statistics and numbers in Finland. There are people who does it, but what I'm after is one web page where people would easily follow all the leagues. I would like to know how flipper has played nationally, for instance, and Swedish leagues. Seeing the results.
Yeah,
So it
goal
would be
again.
interesting. Yeah. Okay, now what has happened is.
yeah, I agree with you completely that we have a lot of information, and of course we have the problem that some things are good in certain, like on Facebook, and some things can't be shared on Facebook because it's not the right
Yeah,
format.
and there is so much information. So that what I'm after is just a single web page where all the European and perhaps all the world's leagues, whatever leagues there are, and then we,
I
should
would
have-
say that you're lucky because there is a Spanish-speaking guy in South America, and I don't know if you've seen his website, but he has the most information about underwater sports.
Okay.
He reports the results,
Right.
but he doesn't report local national matches so much. I don't
Okay.
think, no.
Okay.
But he's quite comprehensive,
Right.
and it's interesting to look at his site because that tells you about how much work it is.
Mhm.
And he does it in Spanish and English.
Okay.
You must have
okay.
seen a sports sub.
Okay,
It's a
there's
portal.
a position, and we have a blue team ball.
I'll show you the link later.
Blue team ball.
So one of the interesting problems of this sport is that
Hey, number 12.
people are in.
Number 12. Blue team ball. You have to stay on your side.
There's some shouting here. There's going to be a team
Yeah.
ball.
Okay. Give them the ball. Give them the ball. Yeah, okay, you have the ball. Okay. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Good. Right.
So it's a free throw,
A free ball.
free ball.
Yes. But it's like a free throw
Yeah.
in most respects. There's some distinction. I can't remember what it is, but it doesn't affect the games very much. Okay, he's going out quite far to chase.
Yes,
And-
yes. Quite a purposeless dive, that one, because he even didn't make a contact with the ball. Now this number 4, well, he's close enough to his own goal, so that's the area where they need to be really aggressively tackling the ball. But now once again, where were all the forwards when he got the ball? He had a good 2 seconds to try scoring, and
Now's a good goal coming. No. They have
Well-
an opportunity, but they Egersund's clearing the ball. It's all the way over.
Yes,
Yeah,
well
nice.
done, well done.
And now they're coming.
Yes. What has happened now?
Free throw.
Free throw for
Warning. Player number blue.
warning.
Warning. Player number blue. Player number. White free throw. White free throw.
Well, they could have allowed them to swim over. I don't know
Yeah,
if it would have
yeah.
made a difference, but
I wonder why the flipper guy wanted to make a fault. If Egersund had one time taken the ball and then they are making. It was a ridiculous.
it didn't.
No ball came out of the water, I think. Yes, free throw for flip.
Playing about.
In these one-to-one chases, I think they are also behind. They should be able to protect the ball in a better way. Now they have difficulties in one-to-one situations, just to basically protect the ball.
That's it. You need to have the player role. There's somebody who can stabilize the team, and they don't have that. These guys.
That was an excellent pass.
Jakobsen.
But 14, he goes on the surface immediately. I wonder why, because he could have just dive away from his own end. But okay, they were lucky this time that
Well, they got
got
all the way over.
all
so
the
they-
way over, and now the thing is, of course they want to score, and this maybe I don't know. I have played so many times when we have lost with 10 goals or with a big score, and then the team wants to make one goal.
Yes.
That's a psychological thing. So once you start to try this goal, then you lose your
Defense.
and you lose your organized way to play if you're just gonna go for the goal no matter what. So again, they are making lots of contacts. Where are all the forwards now?
Oh, they had a switch there with the goalie, and the ball rolled on the rim,
Yeah.
and now a moment later it's over.
But I'm calling the Egersund forwards in their defense game. They should be closer to their own goal, be more aggressive. And of course, it's easy to say here. I'm not saying it's easy. It's difficult, certainly is. And once the ball is very close to the goal, you cannot really dive in because you cannot reach it.
No.
There is a massive amount of
People,
muscle and people around. So how to get there?
Now Egersund swimming out on the surface again,
Again.
and a pass out in front.
Yeah, and this is when you are in the mid-water. It is really difficult. It is difficult because then you give the opponents the freedom of movement, so to say. When you go on the bottom, at least you're sure that no one cannot reach you from below.
Playing above the surface, outside the area.
Outside the area, ball came out of the water. So it's a free throw for Egersund.
So we've got about 7 minutes remaining in the game,
Mm-hmm.
and it's 11-0. We're not maybe even going to see a score by Egersund. They will have trouble scoring.
Yeah, certainly. And if they're trying it too hard, too selflessly, just going for it, then they won't make it either. I think
Rasmussen going all the way.
is he able to pass? Yes, he is. But the defender, where did that guy stay? Above. Why didn't he go all the way on the bottom?
I don't know. It was an opportunity that's missed.
This player number 3 was left all alone. He did well snapping, catching the ball, but then there was no any options for him. There were 3 flipper players, and of course now I'm seeing the pool. All the flipper players are basically 3 meters away from. No one stays below, so they are all very close to Egersund end. Few meters, maybe 4 meters away. So it makes it awfully difficult for Egersund to go away from their own end.
They have not had very much success except on the side of the pool. Now,
Again, there are no forwards to. No, well, now one guy comes. Yeah.
nice.
Okay. That was a little lucky. A little bit of luck also in there. No, there is a. It's a penalty shot.
For wedging.
Penalty throw for the blue team.
I think
Penalty throw for the blue team.
what I saw earlier on was that actually the defender was holding with his finger to the. But would it be a shoulder or what? Well, perhaps it was
A
shoulder.
penalty.
45 seconds.
We didn't hear what the reason was.
No, I did not hear.
Well, Egersund. Flipper player is going to come in above the goal.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Nice one. Yeah.
Number 70.
Now it's too easy. He went through the fins, got the head, went behind it. A big gap.
Yeah. Here in Helsinki, the winter sun is shining.
It's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day now. Well, it's always a beautiful day to play underwater rugby. Yesterday was even better weather for underwater rugby. It was grey and windy and cold.
But it's
Now
better for the TV with the light here.
It is better light because the big window we have here.
This is
in front.
outstanding. You cannot really ask for better visibility in the pool. And of course, we have more and more cameras all the time, so
Yeah.
the plan is to have cameras in the basket on the other side of the basket.
For the first time this summer I played outdoor pool. It was in Riihimäki, Finland. It was the first time I played more than 10 years underwater rugby, and that was the first time for me in an outdoor pool. It was strange, all the daylight. It was June, so there was lots of sunlight. We had such a beautiful summer, by the way, in Finland. Well, I think most of the Northern Europe
yes,
had
it was very warm.
Very warm and dry.
Now Egersund's
That was a good move from him, and excellent pass. Must give credit to number 8 that he seek for that position, and now dive, go deeper. Yes, that's the way. Now to the safety corner, maybe to gear up. Good. No, still able to maintain that. Okay. And then I don't know what happened. Maybe a flipper player could.
well, the referee has blown the whistle.
Attacking the head.
Attack on the head.
Attacking the head. Free throw.
Yeah, well, that was quite logical decision. Even though one should be able to play from behind of the head, that's not. I think that's still okay. But he had two-handed, had his head. So it's good to stop that because the neck is in danger. Now they have taken the position there. That's the famous scissor or famous makkara position. I think what they tried. Sausage.
In Swedish they call it mella. Now Egersund, he doesn't have a teammate now, a long time. That means the next guy who gets the ball will also be tackled immediately.
But you can see that
Oh,
with Egersund, when they are passing the ball, they typically have it for many seconds before they pass it. Whereas yesterday's we saw these high tempo, you had half a second and the ball was already moving. So this has a tempo is quite low, and it's very like I expected that Egersund would have been able to give a little bit more resistance to Flipper.
they should have been able to hold the Flipper scoreless for some period of time, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But they could
Yeah.
have never been able to do it. And I'm sure the flipper players now are not thinking so much about the game. It's a little.
Again, I've seen this number 7 losing the ball multiple times quite easily during this game. Egersund number 7 is Vegard Jakobsen, so he should be practicing, how to defend and hold the ball. He's a big boy, so he certainly has the strength and the needed body volume to. I think what he should learn is to use more his own body to protect the ball.
Here he is.
Yes, that's the guy. He's in defense.
Oh, another goal.
Score.
And again, if you were able to do something in your domestic divisional play, it doesn't mean you can do it against bigger, stronger players who could read the game well. You have to change your style of playing. You're not the dominant player. You're just one average player.
Yes.
Which is why it's really amazing to see some of the smaller players who can adapt to the bigger ones. They have adapted their whole career.
Yeah.
So when they get to the higher level, they still know how to do that. Like the women players who can play with men.
Yeah.
And that's
the women players, the only way to actually compete with male players is to use the techniques.
They have to use technique.
To
play reading, playing together,
and then use their body and to move the ball in a clever way.
Yeah.
Because in strength, in most cases, they cannot compete with pure muscle. They need the techniques. And there was an excellent screen that they created, and now there is
the other thing about fighting with muscles is kind of physical contest. You only can do so many really hard wrestling matches in a certain period of time. Then your body will be very tired. It's like wrestling. It's like MMA. It's like. So how long does a wrestling match last?
Right.
It's much shorter than underwater rugby.
Yes.
So you can't do that. The other thing is the same thing with the sprinting with your legs. You have so many sprints. If you have not trained to do a lot of sprints, you cannot do more. Your legs will burn out.
That is the way it is. And again, there are players that wants to get involved in these scrums, and then there are players that prevent.
Another.
Well, that was like how would I say, a typical underwater rugby goal where there are lots of people around. Difficulties to see where the ball is. We have. Is it now half a minute away from, if I read correctly?
So Philip Munt has scored a goal and got an assist. This is the Swedish guy who was living in the United States.
Right.
He used to play with Polisen, and now he's back.
Do you know if he was able to play in the States?
Yes, he did.
Oh, okay.
And he was a very important player for teaching them how to play better.
Excellent, because that is what we need. That's what in the US. I think they have lots of pools all around the country. I think water sport is always been big thing in the US, and I think there should be huge potential. Look what happened in Colombia when they started to play. I think there is a huge potential for this game in the States, and hopefully there will be these Europeans and Latin Americans that go there and teach. I don't know about the quality. That was it. The scoreboard is 14-0.
Yes.
So this was the first slaughter, so to say, we saw today.
And I said at the beginning of the match that the goal should have been to hold them under 10, but they didn't come close to that even. And they needed to, like you said, to have a timeout early on and to talk about what they were going to do. But they were I'm sure they have talked, but they were unable to come.
Unable to come with it, yes. And I know it's not easy when there is such a quality difference in the teams. It's not nice to play, and then suddenly you feel like you cannot really do anything.
Yes.
It's so hopeless sometimes with these matches. And I'm been there. I know how it feels for Egersund now. So, but definitely they will watch this game and what they will have to do in the next game, which will be in the afternoon at 5 o'clock. against Helsinki urheilusukeltajat. I think the thing that they need most is to talk about the defense strategy, and most of all they need to have their defenders to hold their position, to stick to their position more. And another thing is that the forwards, they would need to think, where do they swim, how do they want to take the ball away from the opponent together, so to say. Now I saw too much of that. They were swimming or diving too far away from their
Chasing.
chasing
Yeah.
too far away, which is pointless
Yes.
in a match like this where there is so much quality difference.
And they have enough experience, the forwards on that team, that if they were coming from the dead angle, that the other player couldn't see them. Yep.